Gentlemen, thank you. Well, as Thierry Henry has been saying all week, Cristiano Ronaldo, never the problem, always the solution, either as a goal scorer or as a decoy. We'll hear from Thierry, Zlatan and Alexi when we come back. Portugal fully in control.
Lateral esquerdo contrário. 5 jogadores na área neste momento. Vai cruzamento.
World Cup is getting a little insane. Rebecca Lowe, Alexi Lalas, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Thierry Henry with you for the halftime show. Let's show you the first half of that game between Portugal and Uzbekistan, because Ronaldo's come to play, Alexi.
Yep, mark of a star is when people are doubting you, you shove it right down their throat. Cristiano Ronaldo, 1, 2, 3 steps, get in front of his defender, half volley here. Not an easy goal to score, but man, he hammers it home. That is the look of a man who is relieved and happy.
Here we see Pedro Neto gets the free kick, and when everybody thinks the main man is gonna shoot, he lets the free kick go to Nuno Mendes, 2-0. The team scores, good.
A decoy in action, you like that, Zlatan?
Yes, good goal.
Save the ball. Save the ball, come on.
Almost.
And then once again, the big man, we've seen that this season with Man United, the timing of the pass, the weight of the pass from Bruno Fernandes, and what a finish from Cristiano Ronaldo. Have a look here. Not so much power, but precision,
Good
direction.
Service. Good service.
Well done. 3-0, Portugal. 2 goals from Ronaldo.
Yeah, indeed. I think Portugal, Lex, have answered every question that we had, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, we can grumpy old man it and say that it's Uzbekistan, but you know, you play the team that's in front of you, and this is exactly what the doctor ordered for not just Cristiano Ronaldo, but also Roberto Martinez and this Portugal team.
Zlatan, thoughts?
All the stars has presented themselves now in the World Cup, so they just have to continue to produce, and a better team effort from the Portuguese side today, so let's see what happens in the second half. We might see many more goals.
Thierry?
Run, crosses, a bit of more urgency when they pass the ball, and the big man, if you feed him, he's going to score, that's for sure.
OK. Gentlemen, thank you. Well, our Fox Sports colleague Tom Brady posing an interesting question.
For Cristiano Ronaldo, as somebody once said, form is temporary and class is permanent. Ronaldo with 2, Portugal 3 up. Thrilling first half to watch. Gary, very interesting that the fullbacks, more often than not, are getting the width for Portugal, as you thought, actually, before kick-off.
We talked about the game, about the fact that maybe the wide players weren't suited to delivering the balls that Cristiano would want, Felix and Neto, but like say Mendes and Cancelo have both delivered in that first part of the game, and yeah, the man turned up, and it was... This is the first one with the underlap. We were talking about this, Duncan, before the game, how fullbacks don't overlap anymore, they go on the inside. So close, but this time, more simple movement by the fullback. Obviously, watch Cristiano in the middle. This time, a right back, Cancelo just supports from behind. You know, he waits, he lets Neto do his stuff, and then he joins in, and he just takes a couple of touches, will just swing it round. Just classic. Sometimes, just a little touch out your feet, puts it in, and this is the moment. Elation. I mean, it's a hell of a finish, by the way. I'm not qualified to talk about finishes, but that looks pretty difficult. Bouncing in front of him, an elation, anger, relief, every emotion in the world right there in front of you.
Great movement, wasn't it? Fantastic finish, great delivery, and he was on the move. He knew where it was going. I mean, I even jumped up down there because, you know, I couldn't believe it. Ronaldo gets his goal. You know, we all wanted him to score, didn't we? Because this is a World Cup for the superstars, and he's a massive superstar.
It is amazing. Messi yesterday becomes the man with the most goals in a World Cup, and Ronaldo now becomes the first man to score in 6 World Cups.
Why would you ever doubt him? Why would you ever doubt him? The guy's amazing player. His stats fantastic, and yeah, there's no surprises. He would turn up today, get some good delivery, he'll hang around there long enough. brilliant finish, and obviously his confidence. And it's amazing what he's done in the game of football over the last 20-odd years, but there's still relief from there. Tells you how much he cares about the game.
Absolutely, there is relief. And when we see the second goal, we'll see the free kick first, which is a heavy touch on the edge of the box from the Uzbek player. And it's one of those, isn't he? He's trying to make up for it, and then he brings him down. Do you think that Ronaldo's mere presence is playing havoc with the goalkeeper's mind?
Yeah, well, everybody would be expecting Ronaldo to take this. I think I'm the only one who... I didn't think he'd be taking it. I was just suited to a left footer. Ronaldo's got his goal, obviously. I think if he hadn't scored, he'd be thinking, I'm taking this, but he leaves it to his teammate. Goalkeeper is obviously on his heels, probably thinking, yeah, distracted by Ronaldo, but it just hits the target. There's enough pace in it. Again, not great from the goalkeeper.
He's blinded himself, the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
he can't see the ball.
Yeah, he's obviously not top-level goalkeeper, of course.
He's been poor into the goalkeeper.
Yes.
He's been very
not
poor.
been great, yeah, but listen, they're up and running.
Then Uzbekistan score a really fantastic goal, but sadly for them, it is correctly ruled out because there was a foul immediately before it. And then Bruno Fernandes, who was obviously player of the season last season, Duncan, his play in here to release Ronaldo for 3-0. How good was the timing of this pass?
He's got some ability, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's done it all year in the Premier League. Great sliding pass, diagonal pass for a straight run. Fantastic finish. Ronaldo was never in doubt that he was never going to miss that one.
The best player in the world in these positions, I'm talking about Bruno here. Yeah. You give him that time and space, his decision making, the weight, the pace of the pass, he is by far the best player in the world at that position. We've seen him doing for United constantly. And when there was no doubt he was going to pick the right pass. Ronaldo's made a good run. And lovely
That's what we said, because it's to wait as in to wait for it, and wait as in
everything,
how hard he hits the pass.
And obviously he's got good options and who he's going to pick, but it's still difficult. You have to get the right pace in it. Bruno in that position, by far the best in the world at it.
And I always think about the dynamic between Bruno and Ronaldo and think, what is that like? That'll have been great for them. The fact that Bruno's laid one on a plate for him, it'll be a good moment that for both of them in the changing room and Portugal.
Tell you what else is great. Messi 5 goals, Haaland and Mbappe 4 each, David and Undav 3, Kane and Ronaldo 2. There are 19 players on 2 goals. Jonathan David's got 3 and Enes Undav's got 3. Well, that's how tight the Golden Boot race. England fans on their way to the game in Boston as we speak. Gary, it's very nice energy with the crowd, synergy with the crowd. It doesn't score you a goal. Does it mean anything?
It does mean something, Mark, because I've seen it in tournaments where the fans have turned on the team through poor performances. So when you can get the fans with you and you can build up that sort of what will be energy between you. You've seen the Norway fans doing the rowing in and the Dutch fans. These things do matter in terms of how it impacts the players, because I've seen it on the other side where there's been that disconnection between the fans and the players, and it makes it a harder tournament and it makes it a more painful existence over here. So no, I think it's really important.
I think there's been obviously a big reaction to England's first game. I think the performance, the fact they scored 4 goals, and you do want the fans on side. I'm sure England gets sick of hearing about talking about the Scottish fans or the Irish, all these brilliant fans, and the England fans certainly turn up in numbers. But it's just actually getting behind the team, and the feel-good factor is certainly with him at the moment. But we know in football that can quickly change.
It certainly helps when you start well,
doesn't it? Don't get the bus out just yet.
Just hold on a second, yeah.
It certainly helps when you start well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To get the fans on board.
Yeah.
So they're a great first win, so that gets everybody
and the manner in
in
which they played, Duncan, as
yeah,
well.
No, they
of course,
played well.
Everybody wants to win the World Cup, but only one team can. So you want to see your team play in a manner that excites you.
Yeah, I think especially that part in the second half for 15 minutes, they were fantastic, weren't they? They really were, and they should have scored a few more goals. But they scored the amount of goals that they did in their opening game to beat a good team. So no, it's all positive there for England.
He'll want a bit of the excitement gone today when they beat Ghana, or if they beat Ghana, because some of the excitement of the conceding the goals and then having to go out again, he won't like.
He won't like the chaos.
He won't like the chaos, no. And I think he talked about dropping deep. That ball that got played over their heads, which was a great goal from Croatia, but they were a little bit back in their box. And then the first goal, obviously, they sort of gave the ball away, and then they didn't sprint back and get goal side quickly enough. So.
Sorry, Gary, 2 of their centre midfield players were in the back line.
Yeah.
2 of their centre midfield players were in the back line. So when the ball gets put in for the header, the centre midfield player can't get out. So when he talked about the mid block dropping into a low block, his 2 centre midfield players were playing in the back line. He had 6 across the back. Their midfield players have got to get out. Elliot Anderson, if he'd got out, he'd have stopped that ball. But he's sitting back in the back line, so you need to organise his midfield better than that.
Yeah, but you're going to get setbacks in games. It certainly wasn't perfect from England, but you score 4 goals. Players off the bench had a big impact. They looked good on set pieces, and they reacted well to the setbacks they had in the game. You mentioned that in the interview, and that's a good reflection on the group.
50 caps for Jude Bellingham today, and I hope he has another good game. We can talk about him later. Gary, let's talk about somebody you know well because he was at Salford for a few seasons, Brandon Thomas Asante, who came off the bench for Ghana to frankly win the game with terrific...
Team kicked out of the club, basically, picked up by ourselves. Obviously had a couple of years with us. West Brom take a chance, it works, and then he goes to Coventry. It's brilliant for him.
There's actually an analogy, because Semenyo's the same. Both, on the other side, both have gone non-league to Premier League. That says a lot about their character.
Loads of players like that. That's the journey you're on. You know, a bit of rejection also helps you, makes you more determined. I saw him plenty of times at Salford, and what he is sharp. He mightn't be necessarily lightning quick, but he is sharp in around the box, so he'll be a handful for England.
They're going to be defensive, Carlos Queiroz.
Yeah, you would have thought so, yeah, but obviously that worked in the first game, so Carlos won't change his ways, absolutely not, particularly when you get rewards from the first game. So England attacking players certainly would have to be their best to break them down, but also still be wary of the counter-attack.
I think a clean sheet's really important for England today. And I'm not just being boring there and talking as a defender, but you do need to remove that chaos. And I think if that back four and keeper can come out of there with a clean sheet and get a 1 or 2 goal victory, that would be a perfect day, I think.
We're going to hear the latest from Miami next as Scotland get ready for their third group stage match. Who was contemplating? Terrific stuff. And Scotland's Tartan Army has provided plenty of memorable moments from their stay in Boston. They've moved down the east coast to Miami, where they face formidable opponents in Brazil tomorrow. Connie McLaughlin has made the journey as well.
Welcome to South Beach. Sunshine, palm trees and some of the most iconic coastline on the planet. Today, though, it's been taken over by the Tartan Army, who are getting very excited about the prospect of facing footballing royalty tomorrow. We saw someone going by us a couple of minutes ago with tartan speedos on, which I think might be a little bit cooler than a kilt, rather them than me. But they know tomorrow it's Vinicius Junior and Neymar they face for a place in the knockout stages. But there's plenty more fun to have before all of that. I certainly hope they've got their factor 50 on, that's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Connie. Now, it may well be that 3 points is enough for Scotland, as it is to reach the knockout stages. 8 teams still haven't played their second game yet, so it's a little bit complicated. That must not inform the way Scotland go about this, Duncan. They're playing Brazil in a World Cup. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, that's it. And they'll have to go for it. As you said, maybe 3 points is enough, but, you know, a point would be enough as well. It would definitely be enough, wouldn't it, if they got 4 points. But no, I think we don't go with that mentality. We've got to try and get something out of the game and try and get on the front foot a wee bit. No just to sit back and soak up all the pressure, because we've got to be a threat. We've got to be a threat, and I think we can be.
And haven't been enough of a threat recently, Scotland. That's the truth.
Yeah, it's been tough going for them, and obviously that's understandable. Even the first game where they're expected to win, but the second game, yeah, I do agree. I think it's they'd be more positive in your play. They might obviously won't have much possession, but trying to take a bit more risk in their play. I think it's going to be obviously a really tough game because Brazil look like they're getting in the zone, they're getting in the mood, but when they're in possession, show a bit of courage and a bit of bravery.
Well, they've got Ben Gannon-Doak, who played really well against Haiti, who came on against Morocco. Maybe a time to start him, just to change the emphasis of things.
But just gets you up the pitch, you might win your free kick and give you a little bit of a breather, because they'll obviously be under lots of pressure.
Well, you as a striker, you'd want him playing, wouldn't you? Because of the way he stretches defence.
Absolutely, he's got that wee bit of pace. He can go left or right. I wasn't quite sure what foot he kicked with, to be honest, when I was watching the clips, you know what I mean? Because he's actually good on both sides, but stronger on his right. So definitely he can be the supply link, can't he? He can be that wee bit of magic that we need.
Would you start him, Duncan?
I would start him, definitely. And the only problem is we've got is what side you play him on. Because you've got to be worried about defensive as well. With Vinicius Junior on that side, and we need to stop him. So how does he stop him? So either we put McGinn on that side, or Dokes goes on that side, or he goes to a back 5 to try and stop him. Because he's the key player for Brazil.
I know, but you've got to have some sort of threat, Duncan, don't you?
Yeah.
We spoke about defensive earlier. Your goal done after 70 seconds. You do need to have someone in your team to go past somebody or get you up that pitch.
Interesting that we've been talking about Cristiano Ronaldo and Roberto Martinez. You know Carlo Ancelotti very well as well, because he was assistant manager at Everton. It's interesting that he hasn't had this problem with Neymar so far, because Neymar's been injured.
Right.
So, actually, you know, in the sense, so he hasn't had this, because all the pressure in Brazil was, is he going to be in the squad? And he hasn't played for Brazil since 2023. So in a way, that problem at the moment is removed for him, isn't it?
Yeah. Do we know when he's going to be fit, Neymar?
Well, he's not. We don't think he's fit for tomorrow, for certain. Yeah.
Right, okay.
And maybe he was only ever going to be a super sub, which would be the difference to Ronaldo.
Yeah. I wonder if Neymar would be different for Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Maybe on the bench. Maybe Neymar understood that he's not going to be fit for the tournament, so they understood that. But he's going to have to be fit sometime in the tournament, surely.
And the difference is Brazil are winning, and obviously, well, the last game, and they're scoring goals. So that has been taken care of for him.
But Mark, I think if Vinicius Junior, Cunha, players like that played for Portugal, Cristiano might be on the bench. I think the fact is, if you look at Portugal's sort of what will be backup strikers and forwards, they're not at the level of the Brazilian forwards. So I think that's one of the big problems, and maybe the thing that Roberto Martinez will point towards is, yeah, but I get he's not scored, but who's a better goal scorer than him in the long term? No one, because the guys behind him they're not the top level players.
As we said, Ramos and Guedes haven't done it domestically. So in a sense, it's a lot easier for Roberto Martinez to keep the team